Hello everybody, this is Kent Mayhew and New Thermodynamics, the website newthermodynamics.com and the YouTube site New Thermodynamics. Today we're going to talk about the differential shuffle and Gibbs free energy. Now, too often we get things right for the wrong reasons, okay? And in the sciences, this is what philosophers call confirmation bias. And confirmation bias is a cognitive bias that involves favoring information that confirms your previously existing beliefs. It's human nature. It doesn't matter whether you're talking religion, government, science, whatever. Okay, it's just the nature of humans. We jump all over that which seems to emphasize what we previously believed. Differential shuffle and the resulting Gibbs free energy are prime examples where a logical theory is applied that seemingly explains empirical findings. Okay, so we're going to examine this. On my previous videos and discussions on websites, as well as my various papers, I discuss lost work. It is irreversible lost energy by expanding systems into or onto the surrounding atmosphere. Basically, work is done onto the surroundings. The atmosphere surrounds an expanding system here on Earth, and as that system expands, it must do work onto the atmosphere. And you can view this as a potential energy increase under the atmosphere, or a combination of kinetic energy increase and potential energy increase. Okay, the work lost is equal to the pressure of the atmosphere times the volume change of the system. But the system's thought of as a subsystem of the atmosphere, therefore we can write the work lost as PdV atmosphere. Okay? So the work lost is defined in terms of the surrounding atmosphere. Now the atmosphere cannot do work onto most systems because most systems are at 1 atmosphere pressure. I mean, in order for the atmosphere to do work onto the system, the atmosphere has to be at a higher pressure than that system. I mean, imagine if you put a canister of compressed gas and you attach it to a car. In order to push or move the car, then the compressed gas has to be at a higher pressure than that at which surrounds the car. Okay, it only makes sense. Okay, yet scientists ignore these basic facts. Okay, and I discussed this in my video on carbon dioxide formation, and maybe perhaps you want to visit that at this point. But the point is, you got to realize that the atmosphere cannot do work onto a system in the same way that an expanding system does work onto the atmosphere. Okay, so now this video is about thermodynamics and what I call the differential shuffle. Okay, we're going to start with the first equation, and basically it's the isothermal entropy change equals the system's energy change plus the isobaric volume increase. Okay, and the reason that we say it's the volume increase is that this equation is aimed for isothermal isobaric volume increases. That's where it was originated. The equation is first taught, I think, in part because it validates the second law as an absolute postulate. Now, I'm telling you right now that the second law is a false postulate, but let's investigate. Okay, so we could rewrite the equation and put dE in front, and minus equals negative TdS minus PdV. Okay, and now we can take from the total differential dPV equals VdP plus PdV. We get equation 3. Okay, inserting 3 into 2, we get equation 4. Okay, and that describes the change in internal energy in terms of the isothermal entropy change plus the total pressure volume change plus 3 dV, okay, as written in 4. We have equation 4 at the top. I mean, it looks great from afar, and yet when you realize that dE and TdS concerns the expanding system, but dPV plus VdP, that concerns the atmosphere, because the work done, PdV, was the work done onto the atmosphere, okay? In other words, equation 4 has clarity if you write it in terms of equation 5. Okay, just look at equation 5. It's farcical. So equation 4 is equally farcical. Okay, now importantly, we traditionally also use TdS equals the total differential of TS minus SdT to determine what we call Gibbs and Helmholtz free energies. And I'm going to call them farcical free energies at this point. It turns out that they have validity, but for the wrong reasons. Our mathematical way that we attain these equations traditionally is illogical. Okay, and that's all I'm trying to show here at this point. The point is that there's no point in deriving either Gibbs or Helmholtz free energy from the equations. It's the way it's traditionally done. And yet we all fell for it. Heck, I did for decades. It's all part of the confirmation bias. Okay, I will show Gibbs free energy is right for the wrong reasons in another video. It's going to be titled Gibbs free energy. I could go on and on about, Gibbs free energy and Helmholtz free energy and show why it doesn't make sense, but you got to realize that we showed at the very fundamental level why the mathematics involved in deriving those is illogical. Okay, and yet it's traditionally accepted. It's ingrained in our brains. Okay, experimental data can only disprove a theory. Okay, so it doesn't matter what it is. Okay, it can never actually prove a theory because more than one theory can explain a given findings. Okay, again, when two theories claim an experiment as proof, logic dictates that the simple theory is often the better theory. This is Occams Razor. So as far as Gibbs free energy is concerned, we're going to show in another video why we can explain Gibbs free energy without the mathematical illusions, without that, entropy, without all of that stuff. It's simple. And I end the slideshow with discussing my book, New Thermodynamics, Say No to Entropy. I want to express that I am rewriting it for the third time, namely because I've had some new insights, okay, and the new book will probably be called New Thermodynamics, Goodbye to the Second Law. The realizations have changed things like Chapter 4, so I'm sorry if anyone bought it. You can get Chapter 4 online from my website, www.newthermodynamics.com. Most of what I've discussed here is in my books and in my website. Okay, also on my website you'll find my peer-reviewed and other papers. I do apologize for my odd mistake, as they certainly exist, and I guess I'm really apologizing for being a human being. Okay, accordingly, any help and or improvements or commentary is always appreciated.